All right. I'm Sharkhat87. Welcome, everybody. We're going to be doing a Dead Space 2 80% run here. We're going to go ahead and just jump straight into the run because there's a little bit of like cutscene and just sort of like downtime, like right at the start. So the time is going to begin when we select the difficulty here. So we're going to go ahead and get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Sharkhat, it's picking up your webcam.
Is it?
I think so.
Are you trolling me, or should I actually fix it?
Is what picking up his webcam?
His mic.
Is it actually? I can fix it.
Sounds like it.
We have a very generous estimate, so you could maybe, you know. Looney says it is, and Looney would never lie.
It is?
That's why
Okay,
they don't call him
check.
lying, Looney bin.
Hold on. I literally just said this. I can't tell if you guys are trolling me or not, because this happened
No,
to
we're
me another
not. We're
time.
not.
I have you muted, so I
Wait.
just got Discord.
I mean, it says it's the right one. I do?
Okay.
Really? Oh, well,
Dude, this is the funniest prank.
I think I am getting pranked. I think I'm getting pranked.
I'm joking. I don't know.
Okay, I mean, I think that should be fine. If anybody, well, okay, I don't know if they're trolling me or not, but when I ran this game at AGDQ 2022, I accidentally had my webcam mic on. So
Back in the
It's
good old
charming.
days.
It's charming.
You know what? Maybe it is something about this game.
all right, well, if it is actually bad, I'll fix it, but let me know if that's any better. Anyway, this is Dead Space 2. I guess I'll let my commentators introduce themselves.
You go first, Alexis. Symmetry.
I'm Smistry. I'm a runner of this game also, and I'm here with Sharkhat and Topher.
Yeah, I'm Topher. I've also done some runs of this game, and you know it's been a little bit, but this is definitely my favorite one to run in the series.
Yeah, this game is super fun. We got a lot of cool tricks and stuff coming up. Go
Yeah.
for fan club, yo, let's go.
Who said that? Let's go.
Sherry, let's go.
Well, this isn't my time to shine. This is Shark's time to shine. So we got some fun stuff coming up, except for this cutscene right here. This is the worst part of the run.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't skip this cutscene.
I am trying to do just like a mental refresh of all the tricks that come up. Oh wait, we got stasis skip, but we have a few minutes until then.
No, we don't have stasis skip. We have cha-cha slide skip.
You know,
He's not lying. Hold on, let me
Wait, who's
check.
not
Let
lying?
me check one more thing real quick. Hold on. I mean, oh, here we go.
why do they call him
This might
Sharkhat?
fix it. Hold on. I think I see what might have happened here.
It's only picking up mono.
I fixed it.
Did you?
Yeah, you're good
Yes. Does that sound better now? I love OBS.
now. Make your mic a bit louder.
Louder? Okay. No problem. And
Wouldn't be a Dead Space run without tech issues.
You know what? That is 100% right.
Wouldn't be a shots fired marathon without technical issues.
there we go.
No.
That should be better.
There's no escaping from what I've done.
Lenny says that's better, but he said that like 10 seconds ago. So if you made any changes in the past 5 seconds, we might be in trouble.
Made it a little louder.
Red is red.
Okay,
So-
let's chat. Sorry, you go.
Yeah.
you
Oh,
good,
sorry.
you good,
We'll
you
get in the run in a sec. Yeah. So that is actually really funny that actually was happening. So I had it set in the settings, my audio interface, but then I went to the properties,
Go ahead.
actual microphone.
Take it.
I guess besides
You needing it anymore. Isaac.
webcam. But
Yeah, fortunately,
Okay.
Sharkhat's estimate is pretty generous.
yeah, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, we're fine.
It's
I'd rather-
still gonna
I'd-
do
I'd-
better
I'd-
than my
I'd-
PB.
I'd rather have it be fixed early on. That y'all letting me know. I actually did think you guys were trolling me though, because that is actually really funny that happened.
Yeah,
Whatever.
That happened again.
Anyway, so back to the run. You guys want to talk about flashlight do thing? About to be doing that in a second.
Why should I trust you?
You want to talk about that, Topher?
I'll try and talk about that, and someone will correct me. So we have these little tutorials that pop up, and for the most part, I think they are totally normal. However, that one up there that tells us how to use the flashlight actually causes a flashlight to spawn, and we can use the combination of bringing up that tutorial and picking up that made-up flashlight to cancel cutscenes that happen. We're going to do one in a moment right here that you'll see. There will be a little thing where Isaac is about to grab his head, and Shark will cancel that with the animation, and we can get past it. You won't see that throughout the rest of the run, because I think it is canceled by, what is it? Going through this elevator up here?
Well, there's a couple things, but once we leave chapter 1, it doesn't work because the flashlight needs to actually be loaded, and once we go to the next level, this area just doesn't exist anymore. There is another health pack coming up. If you pick it up, it will give you a different restore health tutorial, and that the one that replaces it doesn't dupe the flashlight anymore. If you pick up that health pack or leave chapter 1, it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's for the best. Otherwise, the whole entire run would just be trying to remember all those little things, kind of like Remake and the audio logs, you know?
Yeah.
We would probably use it a lot more, yeah, because it breaks you out of any animation, including cutscenes. It also gets rid of Kinesis, which we just picked up, which lets us pick up and throw things. We do need this to beat the game. So, once we've gotten Kinesis here, I'm not going to flashlight dupe. And I just got that extra... Oh, I actually can't. We're going to be going to 5 FPS here, so just fair warning, the stream isn't lagging. It's the game. I'm going to do the cha-cha slide here, 2 stomps this time, run forward. Okay, I went a little early, so try that again. Fortunately, we can just...
Basically, what Sharkhat's trying to do is he's trying to run out of this elevator, which will let him skip all of chapter 1, or the rest of it.
Yeah, if you hit this corner at the right angle with the right timing, you can flip right through it. There we go. Okay, I just went a little...
Let's go.
We use the momentum of the elevator plus the lower frame wall there, and then I'm fall down and try to open this door. Load this level in. So the loads are usually tied to either load triggers on the ground, opening doors. So in that case, even though the door and the roof down here aren't really loaded, if I open the door, it loads the back in. Now we're supposed to have a gun here, but we skipped that. So we're going to pick up some props and throw it at the boss. We are on casual difficulty, so it takes 6 of these shots for the arms instead of 3 plasma cutter shots. Now it is shots fired, so we are going to pick up a gun in a moment here.
Yep. You cannot beat the game without a gun. You will get soft locked.
Yeah. You actually can beat most of the game without shooting something.
There's very little combat.
So we get some money drops here. We do need enough money to buy a gun. Fortunately, those 3 drops always give you enough for the plasma cutter. So we are going to stop here at the beginning of chapter 2. Buy that. Dude, buy the right one.
I completely forgot about Cha-Cha Slide existing. I was ready for Stasis Skip.
Oh yeah,
no more Steve.
I believe yeah that's chapter 1 skip you just saw is actually the newest skip in the game. Actually.
Oh, FYI, it sounds like you have a dynamic noise gate or something. Looney's talking about it again. It sounds like you're cutting out a little bit.
Oh yeah, I can fix that real quick.
Easy.
While you're doing that, could you also increase the volume of the game by like 5 decibels? I was waiting. I didn't want to interrupt.
Is there anything else on your mind you want to get off your shoulders?
Shouts out to the Shots Fired community. Shout out to the Dead Space 2 community. I don't even know you guys. You seem cool. All right.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'd like to think we got a pretty chill. Oh yeah. So I think this...
plant boost.
Yeah, plant boost. You guys want to talk about this?
Yep. So in this game, at high frame rate, Isaac can run up certain walls, and Sharkhat will be running up a plant to get out of bounds and then hit a checkpoint farther into the level.
Yeah, if you want some really technical details, you're actually temporarily storing some height from the. So even though I'm not up against the corner anymore, we're still like just slightly off the ground. Not enough for you to be able to actually see, but that extra height lets you climb the plant. It kind of looks like you walk along the wall, and that's what lets you climb along the plant. Like you've already like boosted up, and but you're actually just temporarily storing that height, and then you have to climb up. Works in Dead Space 3 as well, with some similar tricks. So to progress this room, we got to kill all the enemies. These are called exploders. Obvious reasons. Just trying to make sure I pick up some ammo here. We didn't really grab many drops in the first level, so I am a little low on ammo at the moment. That's why I picked up that stasis pack earlier. We're gonna sell that for money. I'm also not supposed to have the flashlight anymore. Usually the game turns that into the plasma cutter. I mean, literally in the cutscene, Isaac takes some stuff and puts it onto the flashlight to make the cutter, but the game just, you know, turns the flashlight you have in your inventory into the cutter during that cutscene. We're gonna get rid of the flashlight anyway because we won't need it, but it's still in our inventory right now until we get to that point. Basically, as far as the money routing goes, the first couple levels, we're just trying to make sure we have enough to buy 2 different guns, the line gun and the javelin gun, which are both going to be really important. And we need 20,000 credits to be able to afford that. Train, we're just kind of waiting for these to spawn and for this timer to run out so we can lock door behind us. Got like 2,800, so we do need a lot more money, but we've been picking up some things along the way. Make sure we have enough. Oh, another stasis pack. That's lucky.
I don't think we've really talked about stasis and about how we don't have it right now when we're supposed to.
Yeah. So Topher mentioned stasis skip. That actually was the old Chapter 1 skip until like December of last year. But yeah, you guys can. It's basically just a newer version of the same thing. If you guys want to talk about that.
Talk about what? Sorry.
Stasis skip.
Oh man, the good old days. Yeah. So I think Shark mentioned it, but in this game, what isn't loaded in is comes down to a lot of doors that you open. So that if you open a door, you know, the game's probably gonna have that stuff loaded in. But you can like open doors in a weird pattern to like have certain things be unloaded and be in that area. In a similar way, you can hold doors open with your body, but also with enemies' bodies. So there's this one room where we did the cha-cha slide, where you would use the kinesis that you picked up to push an enemy into a room that they weren't supposed to be in until they lose their AI and just stand there. And then you could use them to hold that door open, progress a little bit, get the gun, and come back, and kind of be in a place where you weren't supposed to be. So in a lot of ways, doing the same things that we did with the actual trick we did, but in a little bit more of a flashy way. And we have to bring in some more randomness by using some enemy AI. So that's the way I know it. I'm a bit old-fashioned. I don't know what this new cha-cha thing is. I sound like the mayor from Footloose or something. I don't like none of this dancing cha-cha stuff, you know?
Why is it called cha-cha slide skip?
Cause it's two. You know the song "Two Stomps This Time." You know. That's how the song goes. You do 2 stomps for the setup. You know.
You know why it's called cha-cha slide? Because I wasn't in the meeting where to like say we're not calling it that. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to name other skips.
Wait, who?
You.
What did I name?
Chapter 6.
What happened?
What? Are you making stuff up?
No, you came up with the Chapter 6 names, remember?
Oh, you're right.
He's talking
right.
about Joe skip. Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah,
The Joe involved. I completely forgot. I was like, what is this chapter? All you had to say was Joe Balls.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to. Yeah, we'll definitely get to that in a little bit.
We'll explain
But
that
yeah,
later.
so basically, like the old stasis skip, we don't actually have stasis anymore. It is normally something you are required to get to beat the game, but we actually don't need it. It does create some, I don't want to say problems, but it does make some things a little harder later on. But for the most
makes,
part, the game doesn't actually really require you to use stasis to progress. It's usually just for combat. But there are a few places where it is helpful. We do skip all the intent, like all the areas in glitchless would be required to actually. We're gonna say, Sim?
It did used to be a problem in Chapter 10. Not sure if you remember that.
For engineering deck skip or?
Before engineering deck skip.
Yes, yeah, so when we found stasis skip originally, it was more of a problem, but pretty much right after that we found some other skips that bypassed some of the areas where it was a little bit more tricky. So there's really only one area of the game where it really sucks not having stasis anymore, which is the transport hub, but we'll also talk about that.
Oh boy.
So we just bought the 2 guns we needed there. With the old skip we used to do, you would also have infinite ammo, which we don't do that. We don't have that anymore. And the reason that happened is when you get the plasma cutter for the first time, the game just gives you infinite reloads, and it actually works with any gun. It's just you only have that at the moment, the plasma cutter, because there's an enemy you have to shoot to progress there normally, and so the game just lets you reload infinitely instead of pulling the reloads from inventory like the ammo, just so you don't get soft locked. But we used to go in that room, get the cutter, so we get the infinite ammo. But then we would just leave and skip the rest of the level. So we actually didn't even realize that that was a thing at first, but that ended up becoming part of the route, is you would just sell all of your ammo because you literally couldn't use it. But now, since we don't do that anymore, like again, we've returned back to the original route. I do actually need to make sure I have enough. So I sold pretty much everything except a little bit of ammo. We literally cannot use stasis packs. Well, you can use it. It'll actually refill your stasis. But you still can't actually. We're gonna do a save station clip here, which is abusing using low FPS and the momentum from the save station to clip 4, like that. Normally I would grab a checkpoint here and reload, but it's a little faster in real time to just. You would do in hardcore. So in hardcore difficulty, there are no checkpoints. So in that case, like there, you can't reload. So if you go out of bounds, you have to get back in bounds. Oh, that's no.
Oh man.
So that guy will either jump out of the left or right vent, and if you're not all the way in the center, pop out at you.
We are explaining so much stuff about like how the run used to be in different categories. You know, it's like the good old days. You know.
Yeah.
When the run was fun. You know.
I actually like this route a lot. But yes, the game has changed a lot in the past few years, especially. I mean, the 90% record when I started playing the game was a 158. Now it's a 58-40.
It was a 158 when you started?
It was a 158 when I started, and that was like May of 2020. So.
I forget what it was at when I joined. Like I think it was like at 108, but 108 or 105, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, in both 2020 and 2021, we shaved off 30 minutes, like, each year off the 90%. Kind of insane.
What have we shaved off this year?
This,
I say we, but it's you.
Well, so last year, 2022, we shaved off 6 minutes. This year, well, none. Not yet, anyway.
Because Remake came out.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll explain quickly what he did do with the elevator.
Oh, yeah, we should explain that, yeah.
Yeah, so much like I said earlier about, like, you can deload things by pressing buttons, we actually got the elevator moving up, and we hit the button from the outside of the, like, through the wall, and that sent the elevator down, and the game was like, well, you're in the elevator, you're not up there. So it deloaded the area, and he ran across and hit a checkpoint to checkpoint restart. We did that one other time, which saves a lot more time, but that one was like, what, a 1.5 or 2 second time
yeah,
save
the elevator is really fast normally, so it only saves a few seconds.
Yeah. Oh man, we I had a thought when. Well, welcome back.
I'm back. My internet died briefly, but I'm here.
Welcome back,
dude. The FBI does not want us to have a good run. We have too many tech issues.
Like I said, not a Dead Space run without tech issues.
Yeah. Yeah, when you were talking about plant boost earlier, when you temporarily store height, you know, I was thinking, I'm like, well, that's kind of what flying is, you know. is just like you temporarily restore height for a little bit and then you stop doing it.
Oh,
I was thinking that.
Sorry, wait. I was focused for a second. I missed the last thing you said.
When you temporarily store height,
Yes.
that's kind of what flying is.
Yeah, you know.
I'm thinking about like Toy Story when Buzz is jumping everywhere and what he's like, that wasn't flying, that was
A falling
temporarily storing height.
Oh, yep, that is what he says. Yeah, that. Oh yeah. So what we did here is we aimed and shot our gun through the wall to break a fuse. Level's got a bunch of those where it locks doors. It's meant for backtracking, but if you shoot it from the other side, you can break. And then using that table, we can floor clip through the ground. We're gonna open a door here. We're basically skipping from the middle of chapter 4 to the end of chapter 5 here.
Nice.
Pretty much all loaded as the same map. There are certain objects in the game, we refer to them as solid, and that just means that when you run into them, they don't move. Most objects are not like that, but objects that are solid will actually clip you down. Those tables are really good. Not all solid objects will clip you, but usually like flat ones, like like benches or tables like that, are pretty good. We climb a little bit up on the candelabra and then drop down on the table, and we can floor. And coincidentally, fortunately, we can climb up onto the ceiling there and actually make it all the way to that door. Now we got another combat encounter here. We just got to kill all these enemies.
I forget, is it faster RTA to do the backtrack one where you despawn all these guys, or just prevent them from spawning in the first place?
I know that, yeah, it's definitely slower in-game time to do the fight skip. I think it's about the same. I actually don't remember.
I thought you only did that one at marathons because it was faster RTA, but I might be misremembering.
I think it's slower RTA.
It's close. I've done it before because it looks cool, but I think the fight looks cool. Yeah, basically so I did something called Zero Cycle there on that mini boss. So right before it drags you, it very briefly is vulnerable, and you're not really supposed to, I mean you can shoot, but like I don't think you're really intended to do that. So each drag, we call that one cycle, but you can actually shoot it before it drags you. And if you do that, it doesn't pull you into the trigger to spawn the other enemies. So you can actually run back and open the door behind you right after you run into the trigger for the enemies, run back, open the door, and it just despawns pretty much. The fight, but the fight's really short anyway. It's not actually faster. Also, fun fact, we shot the vent in that elevator, and that actually prevents an enemy from spawning. Normally, you don't do that. We'll get, well, the door will lock. You'll get to the end of the elevator ride, the door will still be locked, and then the enemy spawns, and then when you kill it, it opens the. But if you just shoot the vent, it spawns and it just goes right away.
Why did I trust you? Well, you didn't have a choice, Isaac.
Yep, so Sharkhat just shot that glass and picked up the detonator schematic. I believe he's gonna buy that in chapter 7, is that right, Sharkhat?
Yes. Yeah. We used to buy it in the next level, chapter 6, but because of a newer route from last year, we're actually going to be skipping the area that has the store where we would buy the gun normally. Fortunately, we don't really need it till later on.
Now, in the world record route, you don't even shoot the detonator a single time, but it's very important you pick it up.
Yeah, we use it for a skip later in the game. So I should mention that for the most part, I am attempting all the tricks I would do in the world record route, except for one, because of how non-marathon safe it is. So we're gonna be doing a much easier and consistent version of the same. I have backup saves anyway, so worst case, we'll be able to progress. But that version is way, and it's very comparable in terms of the time save. So.
Are you gonna be doing the chapter 9 skip?
I'm gonna go for bad idea skip at least once or twice, yeah.
Okay.
But that's like the one skip where it's like if we get it, we get it, but if not, it's not a big deal. That trick is very difficult. What happens?
We got something fun coming up with this fight. This boss right here was, he's the Tormentor, I think his name is, but he was featured in one of the trailers as kind of like the ending, like very spookiness. And it's a two sequence fight where the first one is you running down this hallway, or shooting them here, running down the hallway, and then you get blasted out into space. Where the end of that phase 2 is shooting one of the explosive tanks on the side of the gunship that gets you launched out there. However, the developers did not imagine you shooting that tank before phase 2 starts. So the ship is going to come on screen to shoot out the glass, and Shark is going to line up a shot with a gun that has a slower travel time and hopefully get that shot off before getting launched into space. So let's see if we can do that.
Nice. That is a real. It's not that hard, but it is really easy to mess up.
That is allowed in glitchless, by the way. It's pretty cool.
It is, yeah. Our glitchless rules are more akin to like no major glitches. A lot of other games.
Well,
I mean,
the developers intended you to shoot that, though.
Yeah. Also, if you don't aim here, you get a funny like camera glitch here. Camera locks. Funny about aiming.
So, Sharkhat, you want to explain balls skip?
Yeah, so, well, we have these skips here that were found last year, and it changed. Go. So this area we call Leaper Alley, and so the trick is called Leaper Alley skip. Leaper Alley skip, but then Topher came up with blasting across Leaper Lane or ball skip. So some community members have decided to call it that. I wouldn't say that's the official.
What do you call it?
I call it both. But
Okay, so yeah, so right here, this is what I'm talking about with the opening and closing doors. You can trick the game into saying like, "Oh, I'm over here," when you're not actually. And as you can see, the game isn't really prepared for us to be standing here. So right now, he's lining up a very specific line gun mine that we use to launch ourselves, and hopefully we'll be able to get across onto that area of collision right there. Yep, and he made it.
Yeah, you move a little bit fast, or you actually move exactly twice as fast through the air. You get damaged by a line gun mine, so there's just enough distance for that gap there.
We do that.
Across that gap is actually pretty scary.
There's a lot of invisible collision there you can bounce off of and die, and then you got to go back and watch. Definitely don't want to miss that one. I'll let you guys talk about this. I'll just mention, I'm going to be counting here, but we're going to do something called a punch hover. This is also a very new glitch found last year. But, yeah, I'll let you guys talk about this.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, I keep saying we. What Shark's going to do is get to the top of this zero gravity box, and by using kinesis while flying through the top, he's able to he's going to end up standing on top of it, and he's able to maintain that as long as he keeps punching. And you can tell that he's moving because the ground is moving below him. It can be easy to like kind of get stuck on a slanted piece of it, but what he's doing right now is he is moving off of the top of the zero gravity box, because like I said, as long as you keep punching, you move forward a little bit. So we have it lined up to be punching about, I think it's 57 times, 56 or 57 times, which will put us right over a checkpoint, much further in the chapter. And then he'll just stop punching, fall through, hit the checkpoint, and restart. We have a little bit of time to kill, so there was a bit of labbing that was done to try and figure out, like, well, why don't you just fly to, I don't know, a much later checkpoint, But this one's the optimal one because the amount of time, I mean, you're moving very slowly by punching right here. And this checkpoint is like the best as far as like how much time you save, but also how long it takes to actually punch that distance. So it is possible to punch to a further one, but it would take so long to actually punch all the way over there that it's just not worth it. So this one is optimal. I don't know what Shark is counting at, but it's about 57. All right, we're almost there.
Almost there. 5, 6, and 57. So hopefully that works. Even though it takes about a minute to punch all the way over here, this does save 2 minutes if you get it. So
this loading screen is the most stressful part of the run.
Yeah, so this game, we call it's like long or fast loads. Most of the time you get long loads. So even though the game could load it instantly, if you get a long load, it always takes 10 seconds. And we got it. Nice. Okay. So that's always one you definitely want to hit first try. So obnoxious having to punch all the way over there. But yeah, like Topher was saying, you can actually keep punching. As long as you are punching, you will still float in midair. So we could punch to the end of the level. But for reference, at least in...
I believe it takes 40 minutes to punch to the end of the level. Is that right?
Oh, you're thinking of a different level, but yes, it's still very long. So this level ideally takes about 8 minutes, and it takes 8 or 9 minutes to punch to the end from that point. So it is definitely. But yeah, so this is. Oh, I forgot to. You know what? We'll do the cool. So you can get a deload here. But the old method is climb up and hit a debug trigger here. This is really the only example of like a weird debug trigger still being in the game we found in the whole trilogy to be able to abuse. But yeah, if you just get high enough up in this room. There we go. You'll see the curtain opening in front of me. And yeah, it just clears the whole room. Normally you gotta go do a hack panel and then like a really long fight. That saves about 2 minutes actually.
Yeah, people remember that room for the sun jump scare, one of the more iconic scares in the whole game. But
I think that is my favorite.
We skipped that.
Maybe the best jump scare.
I do like that version more. It's also honestly probably better for this anyway because you can actually see what's happening. Like the deload is cool, but you just kind of see me running in the dark. You know, it's like not too much going on.
So I see somebody in chat is asking if that works on the PlayStation 3 version of the game. It does not.
Yeah, so that with that we use a wall boost, so again like running into certain pieces of vision lets you climb, but they are FPS dependent. So at 30 FPS on Xbox and PS3 that does not work. The deload version works on some consoles. It does work on Xbox One. My Xbox 360 it doesn't work, but I think it depends on. I think you can have different load speeds on the 360. If it loads fast enough, it might. So the deload might work on PS3, but I don't remember actually. We don't have a ton of console runners, so people haven't tested stuff as extensively. I've tested some stuff on 360 and Xbox One, but
overall, the optimal console would either be the Series S or the Series X.
Yeah. This game does have the highest amount of tricks that actually do work on console, like on all versions. The only things that don't work are things that are tied to frame rate, so like clipping out of bounds in 0G, which I did a 0G clip earlier. I don't know if we talked about that in depth. We're gonna do more of them later, but those require high FPS. The floor clips, like with the table earlier, stuff like that. Wall boost.
Oh, we got a fun skip coming up here.
Yep,
yeah.
Actually, you guys hate it, but I just have really good luck with this one.
You must have great luck, Topher.
Maybe I'm just an optimist, and I'm always happy to do this trick. It's very fun.
Maybe it just depends. For me, it's more like I kind of have to get it first try. So if it doesn't, like, I mean, because you can get it within like many tries, especially if you have health packs. It'll work, but.
Sharkhat, what do you think you're gonna get this run? Left hand Larry or right hand Randall?
Who's calling it this?
Well, left hand Larry I have heard before. I don't know about Randall, but that's.
Get out of here.
We do call him left hand Larry sometimes. So basically, there's an enemy here called a brute. If he punches us with the right arm, it will clip me through this door here. If he hits me with the left arm, it will not work. So basically, we just keep getting him to punch us over and over again until we either clip through or we die. So I have no idea how this is gonna go. We could get it first try. He could clip me through the floor and I'll die. He could just not clip me after like 7 attempts. But
even if you do clip through, there is a chance that you can still die and fall through the map.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen that often.
It's not often, but it can happen.
It is pretty rare, but you know, marathon luck.
Alright, let's go.
So we're gonna stasis him there. That canister. I'm gonna go here. Might be placebo, but shaking the camera sometimes seems like it helps.
You are shaking.
Oh, yeah. Not first try, second try. Nope. Third try.
And he's charging me. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Argent Charlie.
Maybe. Oh, almost.
Almost.
Oh wait, he's doing the other animation again. I'm dead. Okay, well that's fine.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
okay, so we can't try that again.
Yeah. So
You
we
only
just have
get
to
one
we just have to
shot.
kill him now. So that's fine.
Yeah, if we clip through the door after we checkpoint restart, you will fall through the map every time. So that's unfortunate.
I forget. There you go.
Yeah, like we said before, that trick is pretty much entirely random. If he decides to punch you with the left hand, you don't go through. But if he punches you with the right hand, you do. So
Yeah. So that is a classic example of how that trick goes. A lot of times it's either just it works first try or it does that. So you know it's really the only thing in the run that's pretty much entirely random. For the most part, the game is actually really consistent. Nice. But that's okay. We're just chilling. We were past it now. We're coming up to another big skip, which I guess we can go ahead and start explaining because it goes by pretty fast. Coming up to one of the biggest skips in the whole game. So chapter 7, normally in the solar array, you got to go all the way up this long elevator. Well, you have to fix it, then go up, and then you gotta do a bunch of stuff, go in a whole circle, you know, and then actually fly up and fix the solar array, and then you do this cool, you know, manned flight sequence back down to the transport hub. We're gonna skip pretty much all of that. So there is a checkpoint. Basically, the chapter 7 is like over there. It's not loaded yet, but where we end up is around that way. And so we're gonna clip out of bounds in 0G, fly all the way up to the top, the bounding box, and then fly forward. And if we line it up correctly, we'll hit the checkpoint all the way at the end of the level. It saves about like 9 minutes, I think. 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's this run, as far as the speed run goes, like there's a lot of. It's very nice because you can kind of just pick and choose what tricks you want to do. Like there are some hard ones that you can just leave out, but unfortunately, this chapter 7 one is like the hardest of the ones that we recommend for like a beginner to do, only because of how much time it saves.
Yeah,
chapter 7 skip can actually be pretty difficult, but it saves so much time that you can miss it multiple times, and it will still save time.
Yeah, like and like Tober said, it's definitely up there as one of the harder beginner tricks or things people struggle with the most when they learn the game. Once you get some practice in with it, it's definitely a lot better. But just learning it at first probably the trickiest part. So if we didn't talk about it, that's called a wiggle clip. Just because you wiggle your body into the wall. I believe it works because your body is actually made up of separate pieces of collision, and you can see that when you get dismembered by enemies, like your arm, for like your separated legs and stuff like that. So I think it's, at least I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's because part of your like one of those pieces is clipping through the wall, and kind of just pull. Once you get stuck, you can kind of phase through the wall. So lining up stuff all the way down there. And we'll see if this works. Pretty decent. Like the skip earlier, we won't actually know if we hit it until we and you do get a long load here. So you kind of have to.
Oh no, this will work. This will work.
That does look good, yeah.
That looks good.
But yeah, you just got to sit here for 10 seconds and hope you get it. We did. Nice. Cool.
Nice. I feel like every time Radish says that'll work, it never works.
It's sometimes it's hard to tell whether it's gonna work or not. I've had some where I'm like, oh yeah, 100% that works. No way it misses, and it misses. And then other ones where it's like, oh, that looks really bad. There's no way that works, and it does. So you know, you just really gotta wait and see.
Yeah. So normally you're supposed to be out there in the other room and fight some enemies, but you can actually just leave the room and run back in it, which triggers the next scene. Because you have to wait for the door to open anyway, so it lets us use this store without losing time.
I'm gonna pick up the detonator now. Let's see. Making sure I have enough ammo. Oh, I have plenty. All that.
I'll try to open the CEC door on your left.
And get rid of that. And we're gonna fill up the rest of our inventory with health packs. So again, we can't use stasis. We can use ammo, but we don't need that much. This is about all we need. And I think.
Do you have unlimited ammo right now, or no?
We do not, because we never picked up the plasma cutter from the. You only get it when you get the original like plasma cutter cutscene.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
giving it my codes, but it's not working.
Can you do that? Can you do the chapter 7 skip on console?
You can. Yep.
It's very hard, but you can.
You can. It's harder because just because of the fact you're doing it on a controller. Because like on PC, you know, you can just hold S or W to go in a straight line. But controller, you have to actually hold, and it's a lot harder.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard enough when you can go in a straight line using like on mouse and keyboard, but on controller, it's. I would say it's one of the harder tricks to do on console.
Yeah, if you drift
you can.
like to the left or right, like at all, it probably won't.
Yeah, but I've done it. I've done it in console runs before. Actually, engineering deck skip works on console too.
It does, but at 30 FPS, it's pretty difficult.
It is also harder, yeah. Drill skip technically works, but I haven't.
No way anybody's doing drill skip. No way.
Well, actually, drill skip wouldn't be that bad. It's really just punch up the shaft at 30 FPS is pretty rough. Although technically on Series X you can 60. It actually probably would make it a lot easier. It would still be very difficult, yeah.
Wait, what part of punch up the shaft is hard at 30 FPS?
Oh, you just get launched off the. You don't stick to the collision as well. Like you fall.
Okay.
It's like really hard to stay on, yeah. And you also can't do the wall boost. You got to go like all the way up to the top, and at a different spot. Fine, the skip doesn't work. Oh yeah, no, it's just very hard on control. It's just really precise.
On console, does punch up the shaft on its own save time?
If you do the 30 FPS one, like if you're playing on like 360 or PS3 or something, then no. But if you're at 60 FPS on Series X, then yeah, it probably could. Well, actually, there's the load screen. You'd be close. It wouldn't be worth it. Put it that way. Cool. All right, so that's chapter 7. That was pretty good.
So we're going to chapter 8 right now, and we're gonna skip all of chapter 8 and chapter 9. So
yes, this level is very fast. Get the skip first try. I'm actually gonna aim here. Switching to classic, which is game mode similar to Dead Space 1. I'm gonna use that one because when we get in a deloaded area, the dots will actually show you where the collision is, and also this particular setup was found with classic aim, so that's what I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna attempt a trick here called Bad Ideas Skip. Now, there are a lot of ways to skip this area of the game. This is the fastest one. If I don't get it, I'll try it like maybe once or twice, but it is very, very difficult. So if not, I'll do the other method. The version I'm going for only saves like 30 seconds over the next fastest version. But I'm opening 2 doors here in a certain order to unload the level. That door back there to load in this area. And now normally there is a doorway here, which would lead into another. Not loaded. Straight out of bounds. I'm going to line up a handgun mine. And now this should damage boost us and hopefully land us on a platform out of bounds. Nice. Now this is the hard part. I'm going to try to open a door at a very specific timing so that I end up under the floor. We actually got it. Okay.
Oh, no way.
Alright, so now that I've landed down here, you're supposed to destroy these in the opposite order that I'm going to do. But we're going to break this cutscene by doing it in the reverse order. So breaking that gives us access to this elevator. And breaking that one up there makes the tram spawn. So we're going to jump into a cutscene that forces Isaac to jump forwards. And normally the tram would already be here, but I'm going to try to run into the cutscene as the tram starts going forwards. Like this. That looks good. So now I'm pushed to the left outside. So, because again, the game is, you know, it's not really like, well, it is scripted, but all the cutscene tells the game is just Isaac needs to jump forward in animation. But if the tram's not there and it blocks him like this, it just pushes us on the outside. You can see Ellie's in front of the ship as well. So the reason why it's important that we're pushed to the left is you see this. It's all deloaded here, but you can see this walkway in front of it. There's a checkpoint there, and normally we pass by this. The cutscene continues to play. We back up. He says, "Stick around. I'm full of bad ideas," and then progress. But instead, because we're displaced like this, we're actually going to pass straight through the checkpoint in the cutscene. Not gonna find out. Rest, you see the death tram is just still
Very
blocked
nice.
there.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, that was really good.
That trick is very difficult. Sharkhat made it look very easy. Now we just need to do Giga Drill this run, Shark. What do you say?
Wait, we have Giga Drill?
No.
What's the newest version?
The newest one. Yeah, so we have like 4 versions of this trick called Drill Skip. So we have Drill Skip, Extended Drill Skip, Super Drill Skip, which is the one we're going to be doing in this run, Giga Drill. Waiting for Ultra Drill Skip to drop next year. It could happen.
Giga Drill Skip is not marathon safe at all.
No,
It's
yeah,
very punishing.
if you miss it once, you can't really retry it.
And you lose 10 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna grab this checkpoint. Just in case. So this is engineering deck skip, also just known as chapter 10 skip. Gonna run off this lift here. Get a wall boost there to pop ourselves over the edge. And now you're supposed to go back through parts of the ship from Dead Space 1, so you'll get to, you know, light deck and the medical deck, engineering deck, all that stuff. So the medical deck is pretty close to the end of the level, but it's also right around here at the start on our left. We're gonna set up another damage boost, hopefully open a door in the medical deck. Catch us.
It's below us. It's not like actually back here in the darkness. It's
Yes, yeah, it's like below us and off to the left here. Fall a little bit. Yeah, nice. I'm gonna turn on high graphics here. The setting flares on, it makes some of these lights appear. It just makes it a little easier to see. Because we now have a deload, which means we can walk straight through. If we didn't mention it, doors don't have collision and deload. Walk straight through these locked doors here. This one you're not even supposed to walk through normally. Did. Bought that battery to get rid of some electricity that would normally kill us here, which again you can't see, but there.
So
Oh,
can you
whoops.
do this trick on console, Sharkhat?
I mean, yes. There is a different version that is not that much slower. That is done on console in runs. Where you hit a checkpoint instead. In theory, you could do that door dive there, but I have interact bound to the mouse wheel. And also, when you're at 30 FPS on some of the console versions, there's a little bit more input delay, and you can't actually pause and unpause the game super quickly. So, yes, it's technically possible, but doing it on controller at lower FPS would be very, very difficult. It might be technically possible, but I don't know if it's very doable.
I feel like
It's like how Giga Drill is technically possible on console.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
technically yes, but not really super
No.
feasible. But again, that version doesn't. It only saves like probably like 20 more seconds over the other version. I mean, doing the trick just by itself already saves probably almost. It's almost 10 minutes. Crazy like that.
Hey,
Pretty
Giga
much the
Drill
whole
was
level.
enough to push this game under an hour.
It was, yeah. So we just did another save station clip there. If you didn't see the one earlier, basically we've used the momentum. When you use a save station, it pulls you towards it, or pulls you into a specific spot. And at lower FPS, combination with that, we can explore there. That one's a little tricky because you have enemies there, and the enemies will. That does save time, including the load screen, but not that much. It just skips the elevator run. You can interact with this tether thing as long as you hold the button down. So I actually just opened this door, hit that, ran back, and I'm actually able to get on the other side of this. This saves like a few seconds.
Scroll wheel.
Oh yes, if you scroll wheel on that panel, it crashes the game. So don't. Go. So if you look down there, it delays Nicole spawning. Normally there's like a 7-second cutscene where she talks to you for a little bit. You lose control of your character. But you can actually interact with the escape pod here before that happens. So it breaks the audio for the game a little bit. So there's no game audio for here. Well, there is game audio, but the only thing that plays here is the cutscene audio, and that's not playing. If we had stasis, you'd actually just hear your stasis refill. Or, you know, if I like pause the game, you'll hear the UI sounds, stuff like that.
yeah, this has been a really
kinda
solid
chilling.
run so far, right?
This has been a very good run.
Yeah, it's been. I think it's been good so far.
These last few chapters are crazy.
I want to make a.
They're
I just wanted to stop make a really bad joke. You know, without the sound, we're just kind of chilling here in Dead Space.
Ratatouille.
Funny.
What about Ratatouille?
We're chilling here in Ratatouille. I thought that was the joke.
Oh well, you know. Game is
Yo,
very,
if anybody has any
well,
rat emotes, post them in the chat.
yeah. PS3 does not have good lighting. Yes, yeah. A lot of the skips are a lot more difficult on console. Yeah. If you're looking for a run for reference, I do have an Xbox 360 run. It's pretty similar. Yeah, that deload is difficult. Sure. The whole chapter is.
Yeah,
Alright, so small checkpoint restart here. This just skips the video log with Strauss talking to us. Normally it staggers you twice. You can't move. Passing that. What were we gonna say, Sim?
I was saying, like I was saying before, these next few chapters are gonna get insane. We're gonna skip most of chapter 11, all of chapter 12, most of chapter 13, and all of chapter 14, and almost all of chapter 15. So
yeah, chapter 14 is the only level in the game where we're actually not even gonna go to at all. In this.
You technically do load in chapter 14, but you do not go into it.
I guess if you want to be really technical, like the end of 13 is the same room as the beginning of 14, and the chapter updates when you do the eye poke machine. But spoilers for later on the run, we're actually not going to be doing the eye poke. It is an iconic part of the game. Best. So. I'm going to be buying the last gun that we need.
It is faster to aim on this stuff on the ground that slows you down with a one-handed weapon specifically, like the plasma cutter. It's a little bit faster than just walking through it normally.
Yeah, it's more of a Dead Space 3 piece of tech. You see it a lot in the snow areas where you get slowed down. It's the same thing. Yeah, this is cutter's the only one-handed gun I have there. I was aiming with that specifically. Here, we just need to replace this battery to unlock a door. And we're going to reload the checkpoint here to reset the enemy spawns. Especially without having stasis, it makes this part a lot easier.
This room can be very obnoxious if you don't do it perfectly. Like, one small thing can snowball and you can get hit by a lot of guys.
Yeah, and you don't get the same enemies every time too, so sometimes you'll get a little bit unlucky.
So, yep, we're just gonna watch this cutscene up here. And then we're gonna be thrown out into space. And are you doing crazy clip this run, Sharkhat?
Yeah.
So Sharkhat is gonna be thrown out into 0G, and he's gonna do a specific type of wiggle clip called a crazy clip. It's pretty difficult. It's a lot harder than a normal wiggle clip.
Yeah. Well, it's called crazy. Well, this one specifically is called crazy clip because crazy's the one that. But
it also is crazy difficult, you know.
It is actually also very hard. It's a bit of a weird one. Normally you don't want to sprint while you do these, but this one you actually do have to sprint down just like that. Nice. It's really
nice.
Easy.
I'm gonna fly towards. There's like some really small specks in the distance. I'm going. There we go. Nice. So because we hit this checkpoint while the 0G was still on, it's gonna persist through the level. So it's gonna overlap with this elevator shaft here. Not normally supposed to. And we're gonna do something called a tilt here. If you've seen a Dead Space 1 speedrun, you've probably seen this glitch before. But basically, if you punch while in 0G and then you leave a 0G area, you'll actually keep some of the properties of the 0G area. The TLDR is we will maintain the ability to stick to walls as long as we punch here. Unlike Dead Space 1, we will not keep that rotation once we stop punching, fall back down, and the game will like, fix itself, reorient. But that's useful because if we keep that property of sticking to walls, we'll be able to climb out of bounds at the top of this elevator. The 0G area ends pretty shortly, like after, it's like probably around here actually. But again, as long as I'm in this punch animation, I will just keep sticking to this elevator. We kind of just have to chill here for about a minute as we climb all the way to the top. This doesn't save time yet by itself, but we're going to be skipping a cutscene and also setting up another important. doing that. You're gonna say?
So somebody in chat is asking, do you not get a suit this run? You are scripted to get a suit in chapter 1, but you skip it, and you actually don't need a suit to beat the game, and it's not faster to go buy one later. So
yeah, I mean, I could have bought one in chapter 7, but
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but I ended up just using all my resources for anyway. But you technically could. Yeah, in chapter 1 at the end before the first boss, the tripod, it normally forces you to buy a suit to be able to unlock a door. But since we skipped that room, bypass that requirement, and the game doesn't put any of those other checks. Make sure you have one later on. Fun fact: the patient suit actually has infinite air, or rather, it doesn't have an air meter. If you enter a vacuum, the timer never starts, so you'll never actually suffocate from not having air. So that is actually a perk of having this, and in hardcore runs, you actually need this suit, because to do drill skip, you need to be able to have infinite suffocate.
Yeah, I would say just don't buy a suit if you don't have to. One of my runs was invalidated because I was like, I'm gonna buy a suit, and I bought a new game plus suit, so
it's your new game plus PB.
Yeah, and so instead of getting like 6th place for a new game run, I got 2nd place on new game plus. So
I still love your submission comment, which has just been grinding NG plus for a while now. It's the only NG plus run you've ever submitted.
I completely forgot about that. Oh man.
So I'm killing the enemies down there because they will keep a door locked unless I die. That'll be important. Hitting a checkpoint there at the start of chapter 12. So, normally there's a door back here, and if you open it, it plays a cutscene. Because we skipped it, and we're gonna go back and open it now, the level load is different, and it's gonna work a little differently. So it's not gonna play the cutscene, but it is actually gonna give me the invincibility you get from the cutscene. Now, a lot of times,
show us with the detonator gun. That
oh yeah. So there you go. We're gonna also wall boost over this to skip another cutscene. So, most cuts, or not most, I shouldn't say most, a lot of cutscenes will make you invincible, so you can't die during them. Fun fact, during the remake, it does not do that. You can die during. Well, you can still die during cutscenes in this game if they don't make you invincible afterward, I guess. But anyway, in that specific case, it's very lucky because we need this invincibility. And fortunately, with the level loaded the way it is right now, like I said, it just doesn't play the cutscene, but it does give you the invincibility. So I am literally invincible now. I cannot lose or gain health. If I use a health pack, it won't do anything. These guys can't hit me. And yeah, it's pretty broken.
Yeah, back when this run had infinite ammo as well, this section is like you have infinite ammo, infinite HP. It's like
infinite air.
Yeah, infinite air because you have the patient suit. You're just unstoppable.
It's pretty much God mode. Oh, I should show this off. This will lose me a little bit of time, but this is the cutscene we skipped earlier. So we're just gonna overlap this with the drill round.
You're gonna have the little gremlins jumping around.
Yeah. I will have to run back up and grab a prop that we need for the next trick. I think it's...
So, okay, you want to explain drill skip?
Yes, so the reason we need the invincibility is because if you fall for too long in this game, which if you haven't seen a speedrun of this game, you might not have seen in casual play, but you actually do have a fall animation. It doesn't loop properly because it's very short. You're not supposed to fall normally, but the game has a fall timer, so if you fall for too long out of bounds, you'll die. And we need to fall very, very far, all the way back down to the previous level, actually. Basically, there's a 0G area we need to land in, and we're going to line ourselves up so that we're above where the next area is. So, again, we're in Chapter 12. We're going to fall down to a 0G area in Chapter 11. They're 11 and 12 is basically the same level. The next area, Government Sector, is not loaded yet, but it overlaps with the area that I'm going to be heading to. And so the way that the next level loads is based on the drill's positioning. So when the drill gets to the end of its path, and it is an auto-scroller, by the way. Oh, that's not good. Okay, so it popped me off there. All right.
I've never seen that.
I have never seen that either. I do have a backup save for this, so it's okay.
Well, good thing we have a backup.
So we're gonna be loading our backup save, I guess.
No.
That's insane. Okay. All right.
I have never seen that.
I have also never seen. I guess I will. Oh, I need to change the difficulty back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that before. That's very interesting.
I have bad luck like jumping off the middle one where I try and get in the position, but I'll keep surfing on that piece of collision and get launched off the back.
There's also a weird save. I have the health packs. Well, actually, I don't need. Actually, I don't need the health packs. That's fine. Okay, so we're gonna do this again. Yeah, that was very bizarre. I'm not gonna do the cutscene overlap again.
Yeah, that cutscene overlap does lose time, but it looks pretty funny. So
I always do that one in marathons because it's funny. We actually used to do that in runs. If you don't do that, there is a slight chance you can get stuck. It's really easy to avoid. You know what you're doing, but we usually recommend to beginners to not, or to actually do the, because if you hit that cutscene trigger while going up on top of the drill, up that that lift, it'll actually pull you back down, get stuck. Unless you load a save. But yeah, this is why I always have these saves prepared for drill skip, because like in case something does happen here, you kind of just get stuck. I mean, we could have progressed, but we would have gotten put on the drill there. I also didn't explain that. That's gondola skip. So using the momentum of the lift plus the prop and low FPS, we can just push ourselves through the wall. You'll see this guy try to hit me here. You don't clip fast enough spawns, but again, he can grab me, which if he does is kind of funny, because he'll just infinitely be grabbing me. The detonator with the invincibility.
When are we finding grab clips in this game, Sharkhat?
Grab clip?
Yeah, grab clips.
What is this, Doom? Yeah, you kind of grab clip in Dead Space in like one. Maybe someday.
Yeah, when
the best Dead Space run.
The
best Dead Space run?
Run viable. That's when we'll do it.
Okay, so let's try this again here. So I was about to explain this before the game kind of threw me off, but oh, okay, we're good. That was also really weird, but we're good. Okay, so I'm gonna turn VSync on. I've done this a few times in the run so far. The reason I'm doing that is because it locks the game at 30 FPS. No matter what your refresh rate is set to, the game will always just lock the game at 30 FPS with VSync on. So I actually need to land out of bounds here, like this. Nice. And so at 30 FPS, it's just a little easier to slide off of that panel there. I'm aiming at a texture here. Line up my facing angle. I actually do have live split pulled up. I'm gonna be using my timer, so that's why I'm looking over monitor here. I'm just gonna be looking at the time from when I land here, and I'm gonna be using this to know where to fly. So I have my facing angle locked. I'm gonna not touch my map. So I'm gonna fly left for a bit, and then back, and then stop, and then wait for a bit. Like I was explaining before, the next level loads in when the drill progresses. So if I were to look up here, you'd actually see that the drill tunnel progressively loads sections move, and when it gets to the very end of the auto scroller, it'll load in the level. So basically, we are lining ourselves up in an area in Chapter 11. This is the 0G where we did Strauss kill skip. Normally, we gotta like move lasers around. There's a tunnel with a bunch of pull you up. It's where the drag tentacle pulls. This is still loaded, so we fall down here, and again, I'm using my timer to know how far I've flown, and I'm gonna line myself up basically at the edge of the 0G, pretty much directly above Chapter 13. And the idea is we're gonna fall. We're gonna time it so that when we fall, the level is gonna load a door, and we're gonna open that door to load a room in to catch ourselves. So here, I am gonna just be very careful not to touch my mouse so I don't affect my facing angle, and we kind of just have to wait here for about 1.5 minutes.
Yep, been sitting in the dark for
there's a video on this game called Dead Space 2 Speedrunners Sit in the Dark for 1.5 minutes, or like 2 minutes 28 seconds or something. Reference the older version of this trick where we actually waited for even longer.
So I don't think Sharkhat actually explained this, but the reason he's able to see how accurate his timer is because we have an auto splitter set up that stops the timer when you pause the game and also splits when you land in that 0G. So it just helps him set up this trick a little bit easier.
Yeah, you could like land, pause the game, split, and like all that stuff, but we just have it set up to split.
Yeah.
But so yeah, yeah, and again, it pauses when you pause the game, so you can pause buffer to set it up so you know where you are. There's no visual cues here at all just pitch black void. So that's why we use timing cues. The original version of Drill Skip actually used audio cues, but none of the subsequent versions of the skip work with that. You just have to time it pretty much. Almost there. We got like 15. But again, the idea is I'm looking at my timer here. I'm trying to wait until the right time, and then I'm gonna start going backwards, and you'll see the lighting change. A bit of a subtle change, but lighting changes a little bit. That's how we know levels loaded in. Go back a little earlier than I just did, but I'm playing it safe here. Alright, so now I'm going to start mashing interact. There we go, that's the level. So now we've just landed in chapter 13. You'll see Nicole spawn in here. Run past her. So we have a deload here because of the side of the door that we opened there. It doesn't really load the whole area in, so we can use that to run past some locked doors there and skip Nicole.
Nice.
Now, if we had done the faster version of Drill Skip, we'd be right at the end of the level. But honestly, I think this version is also better for marathons anyway, because we could see some stuff in this part of the game.
Yep, because remember, we are still invincible. We have not lost it.
Yeah, when you reload a checkpoint, you will lose the invincibility, but as long as we don't do that, we will keep it. So you might see some enemies run into me here. Their patterns are random, so I don't... Can't hit me. I think the funniest example is right here. We usually just call this the laser room. It's a very memorable room if you've played this game before. Very stressful. But the lasers can't hit us, so instead of running to the right here, we are just gonna go left, right through the lasers, like that.
Yeah, normally you're supposed to hide from these lasers in these little rooms on the side, but now we're just gonna run through them.
Yeah. Does it work on console? Technically, the original version of Drill Skip should work on console, but the trick before it punch up the shaft is a lot more difficult. So no one's done it yet, but in theory, yes, it should be possible.
I don't think we really explained why punch up the shaft and Strauss kill skip is required for Drill Skip.
Oh well, you need to do both of those to get the invincibility glitch, and that's required for Drill. Would die falling to the 0. Oh, nice. There we go. So we're trying to shoot a leg off this guy, so he holds this door open here. And then by opening the door behind us, it unloads this room. So now we have a deload, and this saves us a little bit of time. It really just skips some door animations. We're not even going to go out of bounds. But there are some really long door animations on the hack panel that we have to do next area.
I get lost all the time here.
This is a hard deload because there are not very many visual cues at all in this area. So
obviously, Sharkhat's a pro at this game. He's played this game a lot, so he knows exactly where he's going. He doesn't need to see the room. He knows.
Yeah, there are some small visual cues that you can kind of use. Done it enough, but it's hard. It's really easy to get lost here.
Yep. Normally, there's a brute in this room with the hack panel, but we could just run through the door. Goodbye, brute.
And I do have a safety save already here, but I'm just gonna make another one real quick because it's faster to do this if we need to. So this is eye poke skip. At low enough FPS, the invisible wall that loads in to block us getting out of the elevator just doesn't load. So we can actually get out of bounds. And the top level unloads when we call the elevator, so we just fall all the way down. This is where the eye poke machine normally is. Top of the room there. Fall into a checkpoint here, and that looked pretty good. We're gonna do it again.
So that skips all of chapter 14.
Yeah. There you go. Very nice.
That skips all of chapter 14 and puts us right to the final boss.
Yeah, this saves almost 8 minutes. It's a massive skip.
The end of the game is just tricks back to back to back. I was surprised a little bit right now when I was like, oh man, it's the end of the game already, you know?
Once you get to chapter 11, the mines, it really just flies. I mean, even 8. I mean, honestly, once you get to like chapter 8. Yeah.
Yep, so we're just doing some quick time events, and Sharkhat is gonna go to 30 FPS here and reload checkpoint to 1, skip a cutscene, and 2, he needs his game to be at 30 FPS to kill the final boss the fastest.
Yeah, also story stuff, we just killed one of the main villains of the game, by the way, and Nicole's supposed to be here, hallucinating her being here, but she's unloaded, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes the scene kind of funny.
Thank you, Isaac.
So you can one-cycle the final boss on 30 FPS. You can't do it on higher, only on 30.
Yeah, for some reason the marker stays open longer at 30. I'm not sure why. It's a bit of a weird trick, but yeah, basically, if I can get all 3 of my shots off fast enough, the boss will just die.
Yeah, it takes
Ideally,
3 shots of the contact beam to build the final boss.
And this is why we buy the contact beam specifically for this.
Yep.
There we go.
Nice. That's Dead Space 2.
Pretty much. That's not time yet. We still have a couple minutes here. But yeah, that's pretty much GG. Time will end in about 2 minutes. There's a flying sequence and a final quick time event. Once the quick time event ends and we get pulled into the gunship, that's going to be the end of the game. But yeah, this has been Dead Space 2. All enjoyed. Yeah, just shout outs again to the whole Dead Space community, particularly for this game. Like I said, the game has gone down about an hour since I joined, since I started playing. So that's pretty insane. It's been crazy to see this game progress. It went from it had glitches, but it's kind of just insane what we've done to this game. The amount of out of bounds and stuff. Yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed. This run's fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. So for having me. Do you guys have any shout outs or anything?
Just want to shout out the Dead Space community.
Same. Y'all are really, really rad people, and this is a super fun run this is a super fun game to run, but also as a spectator, I might say it's also really fun to watch. So thank you, Shark.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, well, here's another one. I'm crashing through the roof to get
All right,
Yeah,
so here we go.
We're supposed to be in a suit right now, so he does some weird animation
Yeah, well,
with
you
his
don't really
head.
have to say this.
Yeah, like his helmet's supposed to be coming off or something like that.
Yeah, like, I haven't seen this with the suit in so long.
Also, you probably have, you know, noticed we've been flying through the air as well. You see he has jet boots, though he doesn't actually have the suit either, which looks a little funny. We're a bit disconnected from his...
Yep, so time is going to end after this flight sequence when the quick time event ends. Coming up in about 20 seconds.
All right. And... time.
Nice.
Easy.
Very nice.
Nice run, Shark. That was really clean all around.
Thank you. Yeah, I think overall that went really well. Yeah, so I think we pretty much did all our shoutouts. That's Dead Space 2 any %. And yeah, thanks again for having us, letting us show the run off and watching. And make sure you stick around for the rest of the marathon as well, because we've got some cool runs.